What's going on, melon farmers? D-Mac back with the 55th and final episode of the Sault Ste. Marie Snow franchise mode for NHL 22. It has been a fun run. It has been a fun series. I know the view counts are kind of down these days, but I think it's just because nobody cares about NHL 22 anymore. And this is basically going to be the final NHL 22 video. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to every single person who has subscribed to the channel, watched the videos, liked, commented, everything. It's been kind of amazing. And before we get too far, if you haven't already, scroll down to that like button. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to simulate on ahead to the end of the playoffs, which should be done by around here. And then we'll see who won the Stanley Cup and everything. No, thank you. We're not doing another draft. So in the playoffs, we went 7 and 6 is what we did. Sorry, Julius Berg has returned to the lineup. He will begin to yeah. So I got to go to roster moves, and I got to send attendee down. So we're gonna get Binder Dundas going back down to the AHL. All right. So now we got to edit lines for whatever reason. It was a shame we weren't able to get Julius Berg back in the lineup before we were eliminated from the playoffs. Maybe if we had him in the net, things might have gone a little differently, you know what I mean? So let's simulate on ahead. The Pittsburgh Penguins are your Stanley Cup champions. The Hershey Bears are the Calder Cup champions. All right. So the salary cap has now gone up to, no more prompts. We're going to stop with the prompts now. My goodness. So it has been a fun 13 seasons. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the team stats throughout the playoffs. I don't know how to speak today. Jermaine Trotter led this team with 13 points in 13 games, but he was a -3. Look at this. Marty caught 12 points in 13 games plus 8 on the third line. Nicholas McGrattan was right up there too as a number one center, and he actually climbed up to 86 overall this season. He's got some pretty nice looking attributes. Durability is good. The poise, that might have been part of what hurt us a little bit, you know what I mean? Oh, man. But he finally came into his own. Finally, just a really decent season. C to the Mac. Once we got him, I mean, our goal scoring just like skyrocketed after we got C-Mac. Same with Maxime Grollo. Same with Dale Joseph. Here's another one of the heroes of the team, 31-year-old Tate Locke, who had a monster playoff as well. The 31-year-old had 9 points in 13 games. Westgarth with 7. Rintoul had a decent 7 assists in 13 games. Rylan Austin, just the 6 points. Timu Curry with 5. I'm fine with that. Garrett Sterling with 4 on that third pairing. I'm pretty fine with that as well. Maxi Pat Jones, he only got 3 goals in 13 games, but he tended to score in big moments. For a depth guy that's 36 years old, going for one last shot, potentially, at a Stanley Cup, good for him. Brandon Lamb was fun. Willie No Wheels Wallinder. No Wheels Willie, man. Had those 3 assists. Juha Jokela, a goal and an assist. He was a +3, but we don't really rely on him for points. We rely on him to be a defensive boost. Yuri Turikov had 1 goal in 13 games. He is apparently a top 4 defenseman, even though he is only 80 overall. And that is all I got to say about that. The star of the show, though, I got to say, 7, 4, and 2 with 2 shutouts is Caden Primo, who actually had a .915 save percentage and a 2.62 goals against average. So let's go all skaters. And let's go to the entire league where Nikita Plekhanov, the 24-year-old for the San Jose Sharks, had 24 goals in the playoffs. Holy! Followed by 38-year-old Leon Draisaitl. Aino Kontonen had 25 points. 13 of them were goals. Justin Cote, 25 points. Howard Arnott, the 21-year-old, had 22 points. Connor Hagen had 21. Braden Yeager, who's 29 years old now, had 21 points. Will Cassivi had 19 assists. Willie Eklund had 18 points. George Solis had 17 points. Jacob Pelletier, 17 points. Pavel Zacha was 17 points. Khalil Corey for the Pittsburgh Penguins was 17 points. All right, we've gone far enough down the list. We're pretty far down the totem pole when it comes to playoff scoring, considering we only made it 2 rounds. All right, so what we're going to do now is honestly, well, you know what? I'm going to go back to that screen again because I want to go through a couple of these guys and we'll show you their careers. Rylan Austin led this team in points this season after missing one game due to injury with 73 points. Rylan Austin, we have had him for a very, very long time. We've had him since the 25-26 season where he had just 26 points. And then next year, boom, 30 goals, 53 points, 70 points, 70 points. He was kind of our number one guy for quite a while. And in his very respectable career of 732 games, he had 228 goals, 322 assists, and 550 points. I think he played about 10 years. So let's wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 9 seasons. He played 9 seasons with us and had over 500 points and over 300 assists and over 200 goals. He was pretty darn good. Then we move down to the first player we ever drafted to this team, 5th overall in 2021, 31-year-old captain and leader and absolute beauty, Mr. Jermaine Trotter, who played 998 games. Oh my. 206 goals, 534 assists for 740 points. And he played all 13 seasons with the team, had a very respectable career. There was a year or two, like the 29-30 season, where his point production kind of fell off the map pretty good. There was a couple of years where he wasn't overly amazing. Look at this one, where he missed 27 games and he was almost a point-per-game player. It looked like he was really going to take that next step the following year, and it just kind of didn't happen. You know, there were a couple of seasons where he missed sizable chunks of the season, like 23-24, he missed 27 games. The 26-27 season where he missed half the year. You know what I mean? We can look at the playoff stats for him, too. We made it to the playoffs just 7 times in 13 years, but we were an expansion team, and for a long time it was a simulation franchise mode where year 1, we actually went, if I remember correctly, we went not to the finals, but I think we went to the third round in year 1, then a couple years later out in the first round, then a couple years later out in the first round, next year out in the first round, then missed the playoffs for a couple of years, then won the Stanley Cup in 2031-32 in just 18 games. Next year out in the second round, and finally out in the second round. So, Jermaine Trotter did play a respectable 79 playoff games and had 66 points in that time. Those are like the 2 guys that have been here the longest. Cameron McDonald had 67 points this season. We picked him up just a couple of years ago. He only played 3 seasons with us, but he had a 40-goal season in there and multiple 30-plus goal seasons as well. 267 career goals for him, and he's only 28 years old. So if this series were to continue, I feel like he would have a pretty good career. Now, 24-year-old Cameron Westgarth, he's been here for 5 seasons. I think we drafted him. LA drafted him in the second round. He played 1 season with them and was actually pretty decent before coming over to us, playing in kind of more of a depth role. I think he was a third liner. And then I think again a third liner, then jumped up to the second line, had a great season, and then stayed on the second line and had a career high and was also a plus 32. So in his short career, he already has 223 points. 120 of them are goals, and most of those came for us. 96 of his 120 goals were for our team. After that, the youngster, the future, Nicholas McGrattan. We took him 4th overall 4 years ago, and he's been playing ever since he was drafted. In his first season, he had a very respectable 39 points on the, I believe, third line. Then the next year, I think we actually bumped him up to the second line where he got 49 points. Last year, we put him on the top line for a while. I just don't think he was quite grown enough to be there, but he had a respectable 53 points after we tossed him down on the second line. And this year, he did have 55 points. I expected him to have a little bit more than that, but he was finally a full-time top-line center. In the playoffs, he had 14 points in our Stanley Cup win, 10 points in 12 games, and then 11 points in 13 in this last run to the second round as well. Only playing 43 playoff games, but he had 35 points. And he's only 22 years old. And look at that. That is a good contract, considering next season he would likely hit like 87, 88 overall, and the salary cap is 108. So that is pretty respectable. Borosif, the 26-year-old, two-time 30-goal scorer, really was starting to come into his own. He's 26 years old. He was taken 26th overall by the Washington Capitals. He became kind of one of my favorites as well. But look at this. Tate Locke and Marty Cott both having unbelievable seasons, especially considering Marty Cott is 34, and they were both on the third line, and Tate Locke's 31. I mean, he's not old, but you know what I mean. He did, at the end of the season, though, reach a very cool milestone, got 100 career goals. He was with us for 6 seasons. Never missed a game. Wow, I actually didn't even realize that. Tate Locke plays he plays an aggressive game, and he has never missed a game. Didn't miss a game for CBJ? Oh, he did too in his career. His rookie season, I don't know if that was injuries. In his rookie year, it might not have been an injury. He might have just been held out of the lineup for parts of the year. That does happen. And then in the 25-26 season, he missed 5 games, likely with an injury. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight seasons without missing a single game. That puts him pretty high up on the list. He also has a cup ring, where he had 6 points in 18 games, was a +5, 3 goals in 12 games last year when we went to the second round, and a monster showing of 9 points in 13 games on the third line this last season. Miles Rintoul came in, and he was pretty darn good for us. I mean, he was relatively decent for Pittsburgh for quite a while as well, playing all the way back since 2024, 2025. He has played over 800 games and is just shy of 300 career points. We got him partway through last season. He played 52 games for us and had 33 points in those 52 games. This season, 37 points in 78. Missed a couple games due to injury, but hit a cool milestone of 200 assists this year. Not exactly a Hall of Fame career. He didn't get to the Stanley Cup with us. Maxime Grollo was another one who was really fun. We picked him up last year. He had 23 goals, 34 points. And this year, 21 goals, 13 assists, matching his basically what he does every year. Oh, no, see, that one was the same year, the Ottawa-Philly year. He played 5 games for Ottawa and had 3 assists. And he played 60 games for Philly and had 34 points. So He did play very well for us in 164 games with Sault Ste. Marie. He had a cool 68 points, and 44 of them were goals. Some of the other guys, they haven't really been with us very long. We got someone, though, Garrett Sterling, who was taken in the 7th round by the Carolina Hurricanes 6 years ago. So I think he was 19. We had him for 2 years and after the trade deadline. But he had 126 points in his career. Not all of them were with us, but, 57, 64 of them were with us. So, about half of his career points were with us. But once we got him, he also got a Stanley Cup ring out of it. So there's another boy with a cup ring and a contract that is way too big for what he became. We have Brandon Lamb, Juha Jokela, Yuri Turikov, Max Jones. Unfortunately, though, Mr. Christian Nolan did not get into a single game this year. And in net, the ever-impressive Julius Burke, who actually had a down season of, what did he have here? 38 wins, 23 losses, 2 OT losses, and just 2 shutouts. But he had a .910 save percentage and a 2.73 goals against average. That year that we got him partway through the season, we traded Vasilevsky to Calgary for Julius Burke. And after we got him, he went 19-9-4 in 32 games with 2 shutouts, an insane .925 save percentage, and a 2.18 goals against average. to get the Vezina Trophy. The next year, he went 39-16-6 with 4 shutouts in 61 games, a .915 and a 2.63, got to the second round of the playoffs, and won another Vezina Trophy. This year, I'm going to throw it out and say he did not win the Vezina Trophy. But he did have 188 career wins, 15 career shutouts, posted a .909 save percentage with a 2.89 goals against average, but most of that were from his Calgary days. Because once he got to the Sioux, his numbers were consistently better than his career totals. Like his career averages or whatever. Anyway, it's a shame that it's over, but, it's over. So what we're going to do very quickly, I keep backing out of this screen. What we're going to do very quickly is take a look at the awards, and then we're going to go through the franchise record book, and then that's it. It's over. So the Pittsburgh Penguins won the Cup, Florida won it the year before, and we won it the year before. Look at that. Florida has 2 cups in the last 5 years. President's Trophy, we took it last year, but Florida took it this year. We also made the Stanley Cup Finals, 2031-32, the year that we won the Cup. After that, it was Florida and Pittsburgh. Let's go to individual awards, where Hannu Hentunen gets the Art Ross Trophy and the Hart Trophy. Do we have anybody in this? No, we don't have anyone close to this list. The Norris Trophy went to Adam Fox, act surprised. Nico Hischier wins the Lady Byng. McIver won the Calder Trophy. We don't have anybody who's won a Calder recently. The Conn Smythe went to Hewitt. Remember when we won the Cup, Julius Burke took the Conn Smythe Trophy. My goodness. Julius Burke also took the Vezina. Oh, he did. I swore he won it back-to-back. I guess he didn't. Never mind. Julius Burke in the Stanley Cup season won the Vezina Trophy. Kreider in Washington and Salvador the year before. The Jennings Trophy. Julius Burke and Capo Kakinen took it. And Julius Burke took the Jennings Trophy this year. Played for the team with the fewest goals scored against them. Wow. Barron took the Masterton. Fiset took the Jack Adams. DMAC took a lot of Selkies. Hannu Hentunen with the Ted Lindsay. And Austin Matthews with the Richard Trophy. Very cool. All right, so let's back out of here. Let's take a look at this franchise record book, baby. Let's see who our all-time everything leaders are. So we'll go this way up to Sault Ste. Marie Snow. Career all-time leader in points, Jermaine Trotter, and he's also the current leader in points because he's still on the team. 740 points. Assists, Jermaine Trotter leads that as well with 534. Games played, Jermaine Trotter with 998. And Jermaine Trotter leads penalty minutes with 475. Wow, I didn't realize Trotter was such a mean boy. Shutouts, the current holder is Julius Burke with 8 shutouts all time. It is Elvis Merzlikins. Wow, that was way back. Wins, Julius Burke is the current leader with 74, and Julius Burke is the all-time leader for goaltenders and wins with 74. That's very low, but we got a lot of goalies throughout the years. We had a lot of goalies. They only stayed for a year or two, and then we would move on to somebody else. The all-time goals leader on the team, currently and all-time, is Rylan Austin with 228. So in a single season, Timu Curry played the most games. Shutouts in a single season. The current holder is Burke with 4, and Elvis Merzlikins is all-time in the 2025 season with 7. Penalty minutes all-time in a single season and current is Juha Jokela with 76 this year. Last season, Cameron McDonald broke the all-time Sault Ste. Single-season goals record by hitting 40 last year, and he still holds that record. Most points in a season, the current leader is Rylan Austin with 74, and the all-time leader is Willie Nee, baby, with 83 in 2026. Assist leader currently is Jermaine Trotter with 56 assists in a single season. William Nylander that same year had 60. And the current and all-time leader for goaltending wins in a single season is actually a tie between Julius Burke and John Gibson in 2027 with 33 wins in a season. Wow, 33. That's the most we ever got out of a goalie. For rookies, the all-time leader for rookies and assists was Jermaine Trotter with 32 in 2022. Shutouts by a rookie was Stuart Skinner with 4. Goals was Nikolai Ovechkin with 25 in his rookie season. Rookie season wins is our goaltender Rocky Khan, who got 27 in 2029 before we traded him away for, I believe, Vasilevsky. And all-time points for a rookie was Jermaine Trotter with 42. Now, for a single game, Julius Burke last year had a 47-save game. Unreal. Hampus Lindholm in 2023 had a 5-assist night. Rylan Austin in 2028 had a 6-point game. And Pierre-Luc Dubois in year 1 had a hat trick. And that nobody's ever exceeded a hat trick in a single game in this franchise. Wow. 3 goals in a game is the most anyone's ever had. But Hampus Lindholm with 5 assists, very impressive. Rylan Austin with 6 points, also very impressive. That's kind of cool. All right, so there you go. A comprehensive look at get cancel. More responsive menus, right? EA? All right, so controller is officially down. That is honestly going to do it for this franchise mode. It has been a slice. It has been a lot of fun. This is probably going to be a quick 18, 19, 20-minute video, something like that, because I'll edit a couple of my gaffes out. But that is going to do it for NHL 22. We'll take a cool couple of days off. I believe the 10-hour trial begins on the 10th. So that is when I will make my return. Until then, it's been fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's new videos coming all the frickin' time. And until NHL 23, you beautiful melon farmers, have a good one.